The war started in 1941. I lived at Krasnoselskaya metro station, I think. There was a big horn there, and from it sounded, "Arise, vast country, arise for a fight to the death." The people gathered like at a demonstration. We went too, we were 3 lads. On Verkhnaya Krasnoselskaya Street, there was a district party committee, district komsomol committee. There were a lot of people. We went there to sign up voluntarily for the front. We arrived by car, we were holding the line of defense, the Germans had not yet approached. We were lying down, and there was a ravine behind us, our people were retreating along the ravine. Nearby, 200 meters away, there was the Minsk road. There were no trees, we looked around, the Germans were marching in a solid formation, as if on a demonstration. Here I saw Germans for the first time so close. Germans were wearing helmets, their collars were unbuttoned, we were punished for that, their sleeves were rolled up, they were loose, calm. They were firing from a machine gun, and you could only see the branches bouncing, and the bullet cutting off a branch. I remember 3 German planes were flying towards Moscow. Then they flew from there, dropped a bomb, they were whistling. My comrade Sasha was already serving there, he shouted, "Get down." Bombs were flying, and I liked to watch them, to listen them whistling. I had no time to lie down before I felt the first blow, as if I had been hit with a soft pillow, and I fell. Once I was hit on the head by a piece of shrapnel. When it hit me, I saw fire, yellow, bright green. And I was wearing a helmet. Well, the doctor said, "You were lucky." The helmet was crushed. We were running, and I felt something, I tripped, and I fell. I got up and I fell again. What was I tripping over? And then I looked, I've got a little hole on my pants and blood. I said, "Oh, my leg is wounded." "Company commander." He replied, "Vavochka, there's a hospital here, and a medical center, with a flag." I was lightly wounded, I didn't need to be dragged. I said, "No need." So I came, there was a medic there. I asked, "Got any pliers?" "I've got a bullet stuck, and its tip is sticking out like this. My leg can't feel it. Let's use pliers to pull it out." The medic said, "No way, no." He bandaged my leg. The nurse said, "Lie down there, you'll go to the hospital for lightly wounded." So I stayed there for a little while. The first frosts came. We had a political officer, and he said, "Comrades, not a step back. If the German breaks through here, there's no defense for Moscow." It was in Narrofominsk, maybe 200 to 300 meters away. It was snowing, the Germans were also in warm clothes. In general, we held the defense in Narrofominsk, and on the December 10th we went on the offensive. We broke through the enemy lines. I liberated Poland, Belarus, and Germany. But in Germany too. I remember how near the end of the war we stood on the upstairs of a brick house. In the morning we hung a ground sheet over the windows, just in case. That's where the men on duty, but the Germans could throw grenades. This was already in Germany. And in the morning I said, "Guys, quickly put the machine gun on the window." I saw how 300 meters away the Germans were standing. And we also heard, "The war is over." And we had no radio, nothing. Here we only heard that the war was over. We reached the Reichstag, there was rubble, everything was damaged. And in the middle it was dark, and there was an unpleasant smell. I went upstairs, there was a dome. There was no glass, only bars. There was a horse and a metal knight. The horse was on these sort of marble stands. And I wrote with a dagger, "I am here," and wrote my surname, Fomin. I signed there.